A delightful Friday to all of you. Welcome to your Friday dose of Tyrrell time. I'm Gloria Hunniford, and we are in a fairly strong position. So far, we've scored points in every Grand Prix, if you can believe such a thing. Even better than that, I received a care package from home today full of cans of lager, so I thought, why not make it a bit of a longer episode and get a bit drunk? So I've warmed up a bit already. My, that is a refreshing beverage. And we'll get down to business. So there was quite a few concerns raised on a few of the strategy calls we've made. So I'm kind of going to switch back into tutorial mode for just a second, if I can, and explain some of my logic. So as we know, there is a 2-season sponsorship deal, title sponsorship deal, with Playlife potentially on the table. And understandably, in the comments, someone pointed out that this should be the main thing that we go after. And I totally get the logic on that. So why am I not doing it? The reason is that competition for team sponsorship deals is super high. And we are not firing on all cylinders. In fact, we have a commercial manager who is not happy, and we are understaffed fairly significantly. In fact, I'm still tempted to see if we can't get Yves Lambert or James Wright to sign with us to try and give us some form of a boost. Stefano Dominicali is too expensive. I know that for sure. Although actually, oh yeah, he's already employed. So actually, it's right. That's our only option. We made an offer to him of 3% commission on a 408,000 salary for 2 seasons. He turned us down. He might agree after the San Marino Grand Prix. We'll have to see. But the point is, we're not best placed to actually secure this deal. Now that doesn't mean we don't try. The second factor to this is 28.5 million a season is it's a game-changing sum of money actually. Once you get your first title sponsor on board as a smaller team, that really changes the pace of the whole game, and the team will grow incredibly quickly. Particularly if you've built an efficient infrastructure, which we have, or at least we've started to. That said, does the team need 28.5 million to function? Well, the answer to that is no. Currently, we're getting by just. We're turning a small profit each round on 6 million plus the money from the drivers. So we're talking there somewhere in the region of 12 to 14 million. So we can actually survive on half of that very comfortably, as long as even less than half if we have the pay drivers, which we do. That doesn't mean we don't try. However, 6 million we can get in roughly three at least, regular sponsor deals, which are a lot easier to obtain and draw a lot less competition. Second to that, we need to negotiate tyres and fuel, because if we don't have a contract in place, we are going to be unable to race. So the game ends. So you really don't want to piss about with these at the very least, because it's vital to you moving forward. Now again, bear in mind, I'm not saying we don't try for the team sponsorship deal, but the problem is it's going to take forever to fill this up. We're already 4 rounds into a 16-round season. We have made no progress on the deal so far. Even if we manage to improve our team lead, we hire some new staff, morale is still on the floor, it's going to be later in the season before that passes. We could get, I don't know, another 6 rounds in and still not have this deal signed, only to have it snatched away at the last minute. And I'd be a lot less worried if it was Red Bull. Red Bull is obviously the smallest sponsor on the team sponsors list at this time. Not very realistic to how they are today, where they basically prop up the sport. But Playlife is harder to land. It's one of the top four. In fact, it is de facto number four. It's also the other factor, of course, is any affinity we have with Playlife, which is kind of hard to gauge because we're not running hospitality, so we don't know if they're talking to anybody else. We also don't know what our relationship is with them. All we know is it's good enough that they're willing to at least talk to us, which the other ones are not. Now, sometimes an anomaly like this means that actually this will fill up really quickly, way quicker than you would otherwise think. It's almost like a glitch in the game. So we are going to go after the deal, but I'm not going to put 100% onto it. That's just, it's not wise. It really isn't wise, particularly with how slowly we're negotiating everything. We can't even take customer deals for granted at this point. We really can't. I'm going after a partnership deal ideally for tyres because that already saves us enough money that it doesn't matter if we don't get one of our cash sponsors. So it's all about being as efficient as possible, being ambitious, but keeping those ambitions in some form of check. And that's what I'm going to do. There was another concern that we're not going to be on the grid next season. I, again, see why you might think that. I would respectfully disagree. I actually think we will survive the season just fine. We will be on the grid next year. My concern is more that we're actually going to be in worse shape than we are this year because we have a worse designer performing far less efficiently. And no good designer to pull on board to kind of counteract that. So all our design efforts are going into next year's car as long as humanly possible. And if I have to take a loan to pay extra money to build the cars, I'm prepared to do that. We just don't really want to be going backwards next year. Other than that, we'll just have to do the best we can do. The thing is that actually, as I explained in my original playthrough, for those who haven't seen it, my original playthrough with arrows, which went super well, was designed from the outset to teach people how to play the game because at the time my demographics on the channel were way younger than they are now. And so these were people who weren't even born during the 1998 season in some cases, but a lot of them expressed interest in the game because we've been starved of good F1 management games for a long time. And so I decided to play it and tutorialize it to try and pull people in, given that you can actually get the game for a token donation now on old game websites, and there's plenty of patches to help them run. There's also a whole bunch of mods, of course, which people are encouraging me to play, and I will get to. And during that tutorial, I explained that really, in my experience, there's two ways to excel in this game. One is the more safe and slow, methodical way, which is the way I tend to play, which is you focus on the engineering over the drivers. The second way allows you to potentially win championships sooner, but it comes with a far higher risk of financial collapse because you have to start developing the car in an expensive way as soon as possible, but also you have to pay for drivers who can outdrive your car. Why am I mentioning this? Well, we're picking up 5th and 6th places at the moment with the car as it is, unmodified, original spec. We could be on the podium with better drivers. We actually have two very slow drivers, poor at overtaking. They've got reasonable concentration, which allows them to keep it on the track, but in general, not a talented pool of drivers. Now they will improve as good results keep coming, but the point is that if we had the money and we had someone like Heinz-Harald Frentzen in the car, Rubens Barrichello, we would actually probably be getting podiums with this car already. Because a driver can really make a difference in this game, actually. And I think a good example of that is if you've been paying attention to Damon Hill in wet weather races. As long as he's got a fairly decent car, he or Schumacher will win almost every heavy rain race as long as they finish. Anyway, enough boredom now. Let me get on to gamifying things a little bit. So we have... well, first of all, we have a shortage of chassis. We have no T-car. Not necessarily a big problem because we're not testing right now, but it is handy to have one when when we're putting so much wear on the car. What I'm going to do is hope that we don't accrue any damage next round. I mean, I have to repair car 2. That just has to happen. I'll take the damage off. Oh shit! I used 2 spare. Oh, that fucking hate that. It's so inefficient. Okay, well, not much we can do about that. We don't have any new tyres or fuel, so we're just going to have to suck it up, Buttercup. On we go. I think if anything takes us out, it's going to be the lack of spare parts. It's going to be the lack of spare parts. Because at some point our cars are going to become so damaged that they can't run. And you can't run a 100% worn car either. So we're in a bit of trouble in that regard, but we'll try and strengthen the construction team as soon as we can. 23 degrees and dry for the San Marino Grand Prix qualifying session. Let's see where we stick it this time. Lower down, not surprising, because both cars are running damaged and both cars are running heavily worn, which does impact your performance, particularly the damage. So we line up 13th and 14th. However, we are stronger on race pace than quali pace. Michael Schumacher's Williams Mercedes takes pole position ahead of the McLaren of David Coulthard, Mika Häkkinen's Williams, Damon Hill's Ferrari, the McLaren of Esteban Tuero, and Eddie Irvine's Arrows. 26 degrees, very dry for your San Marino Grand Prix. Everything's set up as it should be. Fresh boots for Takagi, who again we will be one-stopping. 50-50 split. If I had setup points, I'd actually be favouring Nakano at this point, given that he's the more skilled driver and he's going to make the most of each stint because he's stopping an extra time, but he's running lighter on fuel. Nevertheless, no points on this occasion. We do finish 9th. Takagi picks up more damage to his car, which is definitely what we didn't need. But it's a win for Damon Hill's Ferrari. Esteban Tuero on the podium again, second time this season in the McLaren. And Mika Häkkinen's Williams rounds out the podium. There's points on the board for Olivier Panis in the Jordan, Eddie Irvine in the Arrows, and Rubens Barrichello in the Sauber. In the Drivers' Championship, Damon Hill is your new leader, 1 point clear of Mika Häkkinen. Esteban Tuero bringing up the rear in 3rd. In the Constructors, we've been pipped for 4th place by Arrows, but we're still on for a 5th place right now. If we can get the cars into better condition, we may be able to hold out, but I'm predicting we're probably going to be looking at a 6th or a 7th place finish, but that's still better than where we were coming in to the season. A healthy profit from that Grand Prix, which is good news indeedly doodly. We have a TV advantage to play. I'm going to play it on the Play Life deal. I may end up coming to regret such a decision. Any progress on the money front? Absolutely none. This is bad news bears. So I'm going to try again to coax this guy. Shit. Yeah, we are running out of time. Going to do some more hiring for the construction department. Morale is improving at least, so we are piece by piece getting more efficient. Let's see how we're doing on the design front. Not good. Not good at all. Very, very not good. Still, on we go. Not efficient enough to build more than 2 spare parts still, but we'll do what we can. Wow, we are right on the limit. Our cars are being damaged while running, despite finishing. That tells me that we really need an update package on the car, actually. Now, usually that suggests that there's a rigidity problem somewhere in the car. It could also be this low engine tolerance on the fuel, but something is causing not just wear but damage, which in most cases will not happen. I'm actually tempted, you know, to take out a loan. I really am. Alright, Right, let's freshen up these cars as best we can. Can we hire any more bods for any important jobs? No. I might drop 20k to see if we can't. Yeah, there we go. Let's hire. Let's do some hiring and firing. There we go. That's an all-round improvement in the commercial department. Can I do the same here? We can take on another apprentice. We're actually very understaffed, which is probably more the problem than anything else, but morale is on the floor. But yeah, design is heavily understaffed, which is hurting us. Okay. If we don't make any progress at all on the Play Life deal in the next round, and by that I mean any progress at all, I'm going to pull out of that deal because we have 11 rounds to fill up our budget and it ain't going to happen like this. We seem to have no rapport with anybody, so we're getting no favours given to us. And it looks very much like we're going to be on customer contracts again for another season, and that would blow. It makes me think actually of taking maybe a Petrobras deal for fuel. Let's take a look actually at performance. See, ideally, I'd like... Actually, Repsol looks like a very good option. It's a fuel that's right in the middle. It's a little bit more engine tolerance friendly. Let's see what we can do. I'll drop that to 15. I'll drop this back to 55. And I will start trying to get a deal with Repsol. And I'm quite happy to take a customer deal, fine. But we can get that out of the way, and at least it's a step forward for us for next year. And that way we don't have to worry about getting to the end of the season and not having a deal in place. Tell you what though, I am enjoying this playthrough. I like it when the game throws you challenges like this. Who've we got in place? We just got... the car's bare. The car is completely bare. I am sort of tempted to take a loan so I can build a third car. But if we don't sign the sponsorship deal, we're going to be in real trouble. So the loan remains a final resort, which it should always be in these games. You don't want to have the servicing of debt on your mind. 28 degrees and cloudy in Spain. The rain in Spain does not fall today. Beer. Okay. 12th and 13th in qualifying, a slight improvement. Mika Hakkinen taking pole again for the Williams, which seems to have great quali pace. David Coulthard's McLaren second, Damon Hill in third for Ferrari. Tuero, Newhouse and Schumacher complete your top 6. 2 Arrows in the top 10, 2 Jordans in the top 10, and we split the Saubers again. Very dry, 23 degrees, slightly cooler for the race. Let's see how we do. We'll do a 33-32 split, so he'll get his long stint out of the way first. And we'll just have to hope that the car finishes in something approaching one piece. Oh crap. driver error from Takagi and suspension failure from Nakano means it's a double DNF for us, which allows Arrows, Jordan and Sauber to all score, which is going to really hit us where it hurts in the Constructors' Championship. Coulthard takes the win for McLaren, beating home pole sitter Mika Hakkinen. Johnny Newhouse, Eddie Irvine in the Arrows, Giancarlo Fisichella in the Jordan, and Mika Salo in the Sauber take the final points. Hakkinen leaps back into first position in the Drivers' Championship, and Damon Hill sits second ahead of Esteban Tuero. In the Constructors, we are now joint fifth with Jordan. I've got hiccups now, all this tension. But Williams sit atop the pile, 41 points to Ferrari's 35. Okay, the Monaco Grand Prix is next up, and we are very ill prepared. There's only a customer deal available, but it's an easy one to land. We are now halfway to this deal, which makes me confident in upping my numbers a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to run some hospitality. Now, I know the quality is going to suck balls, but it gives us a chance to know where we are. And the only reason I can do that, yeah, they're talking to somebody else. But we can bring Bridgestone. And who's given up on us in the cash sponsors? PlayStation. So we'll bring PIAA. And we will bring Repsol. And we'll keep it budget. But at least we're taking them. How much is that going to cost? 127,000. For one round, I think we can absorb that. Again, not going to sell any shares in the company. We are going to strengthen the design team. Because boy do we need it. And we're a little short-staffed in every department, actually. Now, I know this is accumulating how much we're spending on wages, but again, I think it's important to maximise the quality of our staff early, because we're only a small team. Let's see what's going on in the news before we see how bad our cars are. Win for David Coulthard, pole position for Mika Hakkinen. Ferrari have signed themselves a works engine deal with Ford, and PlayStation have ditched us for McLaren, which is totally understandable actually. Damon Hill putting in the fastest lap in the last Grand Prix. Esteban Tuero will be moving from McLaren to Williams. Benetton have signed Parmalat as a sponsor. Williams have signed with British Aerospace. Vincenzo Lenzi has been talking to Arrows about a position. Does he work for us? That name rings a bell. Yes, he does. He's our construction chief. That's fine. We will replace him at some point. Harvey Postlethwaite, you're unemployed. Unacceptable. Oh, yeah, let's see if we can't get hold of him. Right, I will go to my 5% limit with you, Mr. Wright. I'm really scared about negotiating too much away. I forgot we were losing Lenzi and Miata. $400,000. That really sucks. I'm going to keep Miata. Oh no, he's signed with Williams. I missed that. Oh dear. Alright. Then if we're going to be paying so much more, yeah, we'll try again next round. Same with Harvey. We've got our designer till 2000. There's no better option on the market. Speaking of designs, how are we looking? progress really is poor. The efficiency is improving as we're hiring better and better staff, but it is not in a good place. Our cars are still somehow race worthy, but I can't for the life of me figure out why. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth though, and I'm going to build 2 spare parts and take the damage off our cars for Monaco, and maybe, just maybe, we can pull out something resembling a result. This is one of our best chances for points in the current climate. So we've checked the sponsor situation. It is not looking good. I'm going to take that 10% later and put it onto some of these smaller sponsors and see if we can't adjust our expectations a little lower. The Playlife deal is so if we land that, then everything's going to be okay. I'm just not totally confident that we will, particularly because they're going to Monaco with another team, a team that's probably far more attractive and younger, with a better body, no cesarean scars. Okay, everything's as set up as it's going to be. None of our suppliers gave us new spec equipment for Monaco. They can all suck it. On to Monaco we go. 26 degrees, very dry for your Monaco Grand Prix. 11th and 12th, so we're moving forward in qualifying, which probably really means other teams are moving backwards, but it does help that we've taken the damage off the car. It's another pole for Michael Schumacher in the Williams. Johnny Newhouse lining up second for Ferrari. Hakkinen in the Williams takes third. Hill, Coulthard, Tuero, Panis, Irvine, Fisichella and Deniz round out your top 10. Again, both Jordans and both Arrows in the top 10. It's Sauber really that our target to beat has to be. 26 degrees, very dry for race day. I'm going to put fresh boots on for all stints, and ideally we'd aim to one-stop both cars, but I don't trust the softs to last. So really I'd see, if things go the way I think, Takagi is probably our best chance at points. But let's see. Well, we do finish 9th and 10th, no points on this occasion, but I'm just glad they brought it home. And brought it home distinctly in the midfield, actually. We beat home one of the Arrows, one of the Jordans. Finished behind the Sauber of Mika Salo, but that's okay. I think the Goodyear teams had a bit of an advantage here. Alacy's Benetton drops out due to electric failure. Engine failures take out the Prost of Schumacher, Ralph. The Sauber of Rubens Barrichello, the Stewart of Stefan Sarazan, and an accident took out Mika Hakkinen. How does that change things up at the top? Johnny Newhouse takes the win for Ferrari, ahead of David Coulthard in the McLaren. Damon Hill's Ferrari takes third, final podium position. Esteban Tuero's McLaren continues his run of point scoring for fourth. Olivier Panis' Jordan takes fifth, and Pedro Diniz's Arrows is in sixth. Mika Hakkinen remains your Drivers' Championship leader by only a point, and Damon Hill's sat behind him 5 points clear of Johnny Newhouse. In the Constructors, we are down in 6th now, 1 point clear of Sauber, 2 behind Jordan. Arrows move up to 4th on 11 points, good run from them. And Ferrari leapfrog Williams to become your new Constructors' Championship leaders, 8 points clear of Williams. Good job there. Right, give me some good news. Yeah, no progress on that deal. No progress on that deal. No progress on that deal. We did make money, but we spent it. Now we have to source money from other sources, like General Electric. Let's talk to them. I'm really concerned that we're not getting deals done. There has been, actually, looking at it, there has been a one square improvement on that deal, but it's not fast enough. We're nearly at the halfway point in the season, and our car for next year is still a shit heap. Let's see if we can't do anything at all out of desperation to help the situation. Okay, I was hoping to get Harvey Postlethwaite on the cheap. It doesn't look like they're that desperate yet. I'll offer him quite a big championship bonus because there's no risk of me having to pay it. Yeah, we don't have any chance of winning the championship, but you don't have a chance of finding a job, so suck it up. We have no better option for design, but we do have an option for commerce. I'm not giving you... I didn't even want to give you 6%. Dick Pole. I'm wondering how disruptive it would be. Because Aston just isn't getting the job done. This is all very frustrating. But also fun. I am actually having... Oh, move that fucking dish. I was eating ice cream before I went live because I'm an adult and I'm allowed. Okay. Damage again on the cars. Wear again on the cars. Oh, this is getting old. It's like a really one-dimensional game of chess because there isn't really a properly good answer to the problems that we're having. It's just sort of inertia that takes time to overcome. And there's really only sort of one logical move to make in each case. Oh good, we can get some more designers on board. Okay, we're down to our last 9,000, but that should get better after the Canadian Grand Prix, even though it's a flyaway race. Let's see if we can't get points here. I suspect not. I think our point scoring days are probably behind us now. If we could get the car into race-worthy condition, we'd probably be doing a lot better. 20 degrees and cloudy. Let's see. 12th and 13th, what a surprise. It's a Williams 1-2 though, Michael Schumacher leading Mika Hakkinen, David Coulthard third for McLaren, and a strong qualifying from the Arrows of Eddie Irvine actually up in fourth, beating Johnny Newhouse. Panis also in the Jordan out qualifying the Ferrari of Damon Hill. Espantuero having a weak session in the McLaren down in 8th. 21 degrees and dry for the Grand Prix itself. Let's have a look-see. A 35-34 split for Takagi. Fresh boots in all cases. I'm going to actually run Nakano on heat cycled tyres because I think that might help in this first stint. Well, it doesn't help them finish. Driver error from Nakano, which we couldn't really afford, and Toru Takagi's Tyrrell has a component failure. Johnny Newhouse in the Ferrari takes the win ahead of Michael Schumacher's Williams. McLaren take points in third and fourth. Mick Hakkinen fifth in the Williams, and Damon Hill takes last points paying position, which means no points for Sauber, Jordan, or Arrows. It looks like Arrows had a double DNF as well, actually. Yes, they did. That's good news for us. It means the Constructors is still to play for. Newhouse is your new Drivers' Championship leader, 2 points clear of Mika Hakkinen in second, who in turn is 2 points further clear of Damon Hill. Ferrari are the points leader in the Constructors' Championship, 60 points to Williams' 49. They're sat just 3 points clear of McLaren in third. We remain sixth. Turn to profit at the last Grand Prix. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was warning about. Playlife have signed with somebody else. So now we have a desperate scrabble to try and get some decent sponsors on the go. And we're just going to scattergun now and see what sticks. That's really all we can do. Sometimes you get lucky and there's partners that just want to speak to you and will sign with you really quick, even if your team's garbage. And that's what we need. We do have a customer deal for tyres. I'm going to hold out to the last minute on that and see if we can't make a partner. Design is speeding up. I'm going to take a risk here because normally by round 8 you really need to be done with the first stage of development. I'm going to give it another. I'm going to give it another round. Um, you never know your luck. Right, Big Harv. See if he'll take that. Yes. I'm going to bring him in straight away, firing Vincenzo Lenzi. That's probably going to cost us quite a bit of money, but I think it will pay off. And then we needed a new chief mechanic. Let's see if he's changed his mind. He has. We'll bring him in next year. We'll keep Miata for this year. Oh, did I press the wrong button? I thought we should have Harv already. Maybe not. Right. So we really are on panic stations now. It is brown trousers time, boys. Why is East not signed with anybody? Why has that not happened yet? If they're not talking to anybody else, and they're currently signed to a team that we are beating, we might have a shot actually of getting a quick surprise deal with them. So it's worth diverting 5% of our guys just to take a look see. Right, what do we do in terms of... The game seems to be glitched out because we are not gaining wear or damage. I've actually had this bug before. It only lasts a season, and I don't know what triggers it. But I'm quite happy to go along with it. More than happy. So I'm going to start getting the wear down on this machinery. And if the bug persists, which it doesn't always do, I'm hopeful that maybe we can scrape through after all. Right, let's see how we do in France. Oh, he ho, he ho. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, before we do, how about we have a quick cheeky look at the news, eh? Prost have signed a team sponsorship deal with Buzzing Hornets. Winfried have returned to Williams after a brief stint elsewhere. We have a nightmare with both cars failing to finish. Not a surprise. Playlife have signed with Benetton instead of us, those wily devils. Arrows and Jordan both picking up sponsors there. McLaren, Minardi and Sauber also. Stewart too. Everyone's signing the sponsors except us. We are about as popular as herpes. -31 and cloudy. No, not cloudy, just dry, just clear. 31 degrees and dry and clear for qualifying in the French Grand Prix. That's going to hurt us a bit because we don't particularly have a powerful engine. Toro Takagi puts it 11th, which isn't too shabby, to be honest. 14th is about where I expected to be with Nakano. We're still well clear of the Minardis, at least. Strong qualifying for Arrows, out-qualifying one of the Ferraris and both Jordans to take 6th and 7th with Irvine and Diniz, respectively. It's another pole to the tally for Michael Schumacher in the Williams, ahead of Johnny Newhouse's Ferrari and Mika Häkkinen's Williams. David Coulthard, Tuero and Irvine round out your top 6. A temperature drop for the race, which is helpful. Strong wind too, which should actually work in our favour in some parts of the track at least. Very, very dry, which is good news. Okay, so we will do a 36-35. So it'll be a late stop for Takagi. And fresh boots in both stints. Heat cycled first stint for Nakano. Give me some good news. Oh, you almost did. Toru Takagi just outside the points in 7th place. That's quite encouraging, actually. But it's a McLaren 1-2 at the front. David Coulthard leading teammate Esteban Tuero. Damon Hill rounds out your podium for Ferrari. Michael Schumacher 4th for Williams. Johnny Newhouse 5th for Ferrari. And Pedro Diniz takes the final points for Arrows, putting them a little further out of reach. Johnny Newhouse continues to lead the Drivers' Championship, but it's very close to the top. 5 points separate the top 5, so it really is all to play for. Michael Schumacher seems to be having strong qualifying sessions, but very poor races, languishing down in 6th. In the Constructors, we're still in 6th place, 1 point ahead of Sauber on 4 and 2 behind Jordan. Arrows sit alone in 4th on 12 points. Ferrari and McLaren look to be taking it fairly down to the wire, actually 4 points separating them currently, with Ferrari on top. It's our home Grand Prix. We made a big profit. Let's see if there's any other good news. And there's a 2-season, $2 million deal on the table from Zepter. That's good news. We've made minor progress on the PIAA deal. Canal Plus are also offering us a 2-season deal. So that's actually really good news. Let's see, I'm going to put 10% talking to Hewlett-Packard. And then those 2-season deals, I'm going to split the other 2% between. Because the fact they're willing to offer us 2 seasons is an encouraging sign. And we want to grab that as soon as possible. Still no progress on the fuel deal, still no progress on the tyres. And East have now signed with someone else, leaving just Blondes remaining who are not willing to talk to us. They may become available next season, though, if no one does a deal with them. So there's that. Let's take a look at our staff situation. Morale is still on its arse, but we do have some more construction guys to hire, so we will. I'm going to do another headhunt in the commercial team. No improvements there. I'm going to take on some more mechanics. And can we do anything with designers? Not really. We're still super understaffed. Going to try and give us a boost there. On the design front, I think that's probably the best we're going to do. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Actually, I might leave it and see if we can't get it a little bit fuller. No hospitality, because we can't really afford to do it. How's the things looking for credit? Not especially good. And we still have some deals to try and wrap up. I don't really want to be giving away like 7%. I really don't. Yeah, that's really not good. 7% is a lot to be giving away when we don't have sponsors on board. It is a lot. But we do need the multiplier that comes from him. I tell you what, I'm going to let you guys decide what we do here. I am going to leave that open, and I'm going to call the episode here and go and drink my beer. I was going to play through maybe the rest of the season with you, but instead I'll go make a Sauber video. And you guys let me know in the comments below what you want to do about our commercial team lead. Other than that, all that's left is for me to insist and demand that you have an amazing weekend, and I will talk to you later. Pip pip cheerio, tally ho, bye bye. Love you.